Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the kNOw Hype Zone. Just a reminder, the kNOw Hype Zone, what that stands for, it's kNOW, so know your hype, know your information, know what you're talking about, but also have no bias towards your favorite team or your hated team, so to speak. We want to try to speak objectively about all of our sports and all of our topics.
Yes, sir.
Anything to add to that?
Yeah, so in other words, Westbrook can't be the greatest player in the whole wide world. And, Michael Jordan did make a few mistakes. Kobe Bryant may have shot the ball a little bit too much. I got to be able to get out of my own hype. So that's what we're talking about, Can't just say your favorite player is just the greatest and don't make mistakes, There you go.
Perfect. Here for Objective Talk, we want to talk all sports.
Yes, sir.
All right, so right on. Well, first of all, we are filming this out of Atlas Performance Training, which is a training facility, a private studio out of Chandler, Arizona. As you can see back here, this is our logo. We are at atlasperformancetraining.com. That's how the two of us met. He started working here a couple weeks ago. We're just like, hey, man, we love sports. Let's just fire away.
Of December, like around that time, yeah. 1st of December,
Yeah, and here we are, doing our thing, episode 2. Again, Atlas Performance Training, we want to give a shout out to Chris. He is the owner of this place.
Yes.
He made this happen. Without him,
you're the man,
we
Chris.
appreciate you,
You're the
my
man,
friend.
Chris.
Good stuff.
Man, Chris.
All right, well, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the AFC and the NFC playoff games that we just had last week.
Okay.
We had the Saints and the Rams. Great game. Went into overtime, which is fantastic. But of course, all we can talk about now is the Saints-Rams controversy and that no call at the very end when Drew Brees was throwing the ball to Alvin Kamara and the defender ran into him, clearly was pass interference, and they didn't call it. That changed careers. That changed legacies, in my opinion.
Yep.
That call was a travesty, or that no call, I guess, was a travesty.
Wow.
There was 1 minute and 45 seconds left on the clock where the Saints could have had the ball at 1st and goal at the 6. Could have ran the ball 3 straight times. If they had to, they could have kicked a field goal to then just go up by 3 with only 10 seconds left or so remaining in the game to give less of a chance for the Rams to come back. But, oh well. What's your take on that game?
It was a shame. It was a travesty. And they made a mockery of the NFL. I seen the movie when they said they put all 3 of those words together and said Travis Sham mockery or something like that. You ever remember it?
No,
I think it was from one of those 1980 movies. Anyway, my take on it was, yes, it was a blown call. What made it worse was the defender in the locker room afterwards claimed that he purposely committed a foul because he was beat by Kamara, and he figured, hey, oh crap, I got to get all the way back there, and this guy's beating me, Kamara's beating me, so I'd rather give up the yards for the foul instead of giving up the actual touchdown. And with that being said, the refs just totally blew it. It was horrible, and
big time blew it.
I feel bad for Drew Brees. I feel bad for Sean Payton. Even though I did pick the Rams to win it, it was still, you hate to see somebody win like that.
You don't want to see a game come down to that. You play, 60 minutes and it comes down to a ref call or a bad call.
Yep.
I picked the Saints.
Okay.
And I guess, oh well, my pick was wrong. That's okay. We're going to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong in sports.
Right.
Okay? Everything's not going to come out the way we want it, and that's A-okay.
Yep.
Which brings us to our first top 5.
Top 5. We
have top 5 no calls or bad or blown calls. Okay? So here are my top 5. 1, the tuck rule. Tom Brady against the Raiders. I believe this is the 2001 playoffs or 2000 playoffs, where Tom Brady was getting tackled. He went to go like this to brace for the tackle or the sack, and they called it a tuck. Like his arm was going forward, but his arm was really coming in here. The infamous tuck rule. The next one is Jim Joyce, the ref or the umpire in baseball from 2010, where a guy was he's going to have a perfect game for the Detroit Tigers, and there was a play over to first base. The guy was clearly out. The ump called him safe. It was like in the 8th or 9th inning. Horrible call. My next one. Okay, I'm getting out of the hype zone, right? Or I'm getting out of the no hype zone right now. The no call, the no goal in the 1999 Stanley Cup Final against my Buffalo Sabres. Yes, I'm a Buffalo Sabres fan, as you guys knew from last episode. Brett Hall's foot was in the crease when he scored a goal when he played for the Dallas Stars back in the day. Should not have been a goal. Still hurt over that by today. My next one is this past Sunday. Horrible no call, which you just talked about that. My last one is Phil Luckett, the ref. This was during a Thanksgiving game, 15 years ago. Jerome Bettis on a coin flip in overtime called tails, I believe. Phil Luckett heard heads, gave Detroit the ball. Detroit went on to win the game. Travesty.
Travis Shannon.
What do you have first, Lance?
Well, the ultimate blown call was the call from Sunday. That was horrible. Like I said, you had the defender admitting that he purposely went after Kamara. So that was a blown call. My second blown call, with bad call, was the Seahawks versus the Patriots, a Monday night game. Golden Tate pushed off on the defender, made the catch. Russell Wilson threw a Hail Mary. Next thing you know, Seattle won that game. I think Seattle went to the playoffs. I don't know if Green Bay made it to the playoffs that year. I didn't finish studying all that out. But it was clearly a blown call. If you look at it in instant replay, Golden Tate clearly was pushed off. Third is coming from football to basketball, and I am still in the no hype zone because everybody know I'm a Michael Jordan fan. But Game 6 of the 1998 NBA Finals, Mike pushed off. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from that, but Mike pushed off on Byron Russell. Had he not pushed off on Byron Russell, he wouldn't have been able to hit that shot, or maybe he would have. But if the refs would have called that, Utah would have won the game. Mike's legacy wouldn't have been as perfect. We'd be having different arguments about the GOAT and all this other stuff. So that was bad. I believe I'm at 4, and my fifth call, I'm going to let you take the fifth one. I don't think I have a fifth one. I got 4 of them. Every other call, I think with the ref blew it, it was in favor of my team. So I was in the hype. And, so that's just my calls. But, I'm not as thorough as self right there with those 5.
Here's an old school one, a soccer one. Maradona and the hand of God, as they called it. We went to go head the ball in, but he really used his hand to punch the ball. This is like 1972 World Cup or something like that. A lot of people have that as their number 1 blown call.
Oh, man.
So they didn't have replay back then. Get the replay right.
Right.
What do you think they should do about the replay now?
You know what? The games on Sunday was, I believe it was the Patriots game. Tony Romo did a fabulous job calling the game.
Awesome. He is fantastic.
He was fantastic. I felt like I was in a video game, and he was just calling out everything left and right, and it was beautiful.
He's like a wizard, man.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
That's no hype right there. That's for real. But the referees need to, in the playoffs, if there's a call that's in question, it should be replayed because it's too much on the line. If the Saints would have got that call, the Saints would be in the Super Bowl right now. Plain and simple. They could have been able to run out the clock. They would be in the Super Bowl right now. So with that being said, you have to adjust the way that you do the challenge flags. It has to be more than just what do they normally call them on the drop balls, or if it's a touchdown or something. It needs to be if there's a personal foul. Just if the coach has a problem with the call or the play that's on the field in the playoffs, replay. It may take a little bit longer, but you would rather see the right team make it opposed to us now sitting back saying, did the NFL really want to see the Rams in the playoffs? Did they really want to see Sean McVay in there?
Conspiracy theory guy.
And I'm not. Like I said, I'm not a Rams fan. Everybody know me. I'm a Raiders and Chicago Bears fan. That's my LA Chicago time. But the Rams, I like what they were doing this year. It's football. It's backyard football. And everybody was saying how the league is trying so hard to make sure that all the coaches are like Sean McVay. And now all of a sudden, now you got a stage for Sean McVay to, show his greatness, especially if he beats Belichick. You got the old version of Sean McVay versus the young version of Bill Belichick now. They going, and that's, to me, that's the way you see it. McVay is he pays attention to details. He's on his game. He knows how to delegate where he needs to delegate. But still, Sean Payton doesn't come short. He's a great coach. And I just felt like, you know, that was bad. I'm not going to go into conspiracy, but it, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
I have an opinion here. Let's say there is a bad call like that or a missed or a bad no call. I know under 2 minutes that no player or the coaches can't throw that challenge flag with under 2 minutes to go. What if the league were like, hey, we saw this egregious no call, you know, in New York or wherever they have the central whatever.
Right.
Well, they just say, hey, you know, refs, you really got to look at that.
Right.
Again,
Right.
you know, that was horrible.
Right.
Maybe they could do something like that. I know I heard this stat in the CFL. You can challenge a no call or a pass interference call.
Okay.
This past season, there was something like 45 challenged no pass interference calls, and 20 of them got overturned. So that's about half. So this situation, like we said, lives are changed, legacies are changed because of this. So they need to get that right. I know human error is involved, but this is like an egregious human error. This is like the worst human error. So this has been taking the airways. I'm sure all you guys have been talking about it at your water cooler or at the barbershop, whatever. So it's unfortunate because we're talking about that and not the game.
Exactly.
Not the game.
It was a very good game. I mean, Goff stepped up. He played great. The Rams defense was awesome. Sue came through. Donald came through. The Rams played good. Saints played well. There was some things that I was talking to a guy yesterday who happened to really was going for the Saints. I'm just gonna call him Brian. And Brian was in Vegas, and he was Hey Brian, and Brian was like, wait a minute. He said, I don't mind losing the game. I just don't like it when the game is stolen from me. And sure enough, he was absolutely right that it was too good of a game for that to come down to a blown call. And then some of the decisions that Sean Payton made towards the end, you know, not running out the clock or either sometimes just running the clock out too much and not going for it. Was a bunch of different things that
he's throwing the ball on first down at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on you, Sean, but oh well.
Oh yeah.
So we want you to give us your top 5 worst calls or no calls or blown calls.
Top 5 blown call. It doesn't matter the sport. Let us know blown call. It can be a Pop Warner game. It can be an actual like a big.
Something that happened to you when you were in like Little League or something.
Let's go ahead and expose it. I know that there's games I could have put up like about 50, 60 points. Just for some reason I ended up with 5 points. Because of the refs. I ain't even go there. All right, here we go.
All right. So next we have the AFC Championship game between. Who's that between?
That was between
the Patriots and the Chiefs. Okay,
yes,
so Patriots and the Chiefs. All right. So, again, never doubting Tom Brady ever again in my life.
I'm going to take that oath right now.
Ever again. Tom, I'm sorry. I've been on you for forever, but now I have to concede. He's a man.
Tom Brady is one of those players. I've always been a fan of Tom Brady, and he's so good that it's to the point where certain Super Bowls, I'm like, he can't be this good to have a perfect season, and I still think that he's going to win the Super Bowl and complete the perfect season. Right. That's what happened when he lost to the Giants both of those years. I was like all in Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the GOAT. If you wherever you put Michael Jordan, wherever you put Babe Ruth, or you put the greatest baseball players that's ever played, greatest basketball, greatest hockey, greatest soccer, greatest whatever, Tom Brady is on the Mount Rushmore of GOATs, not just of his sport, of GOATs.
GOATs of all GOATs.
GOATs of all GOATs. Yeah. Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Tom Brady. All three of them are up there. There's no debate. Tom Brady, as much as I love Joe Montana, Tom Brady is better than Joe Montana. He was better than Joe Montana. No, I'm not going to say he's better. He's came through a little bit more to me than Joe Montana, and that's hard because I like the 49ers, and
but wait, you got to enter the no hype zone.
Okay, so
enter the no hype.
So enter the no hype.
Here's an opportunity right now. The no hype.
No hype.
Here we go.
No hype. Tom Brady. As you guys remember from last week's show, I picked the Chiefs because I was hyped up on the Mahomes bandwagon. I also was sympathetic to Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid he gets everybody's heart. Everybody wants to see him cross over.
I agree.
So with that being said, I thought I was no hype last week, but I realized I was hyped. And with that being said, I can't go into the be hyped again. Brady is one of them people that you can't go against. However, this week or next week, we'll be able to kind of talk. I might be in another different state of mind coming the next week. Right now, I'm in shock, though. Still.
In shock. That game also went into overtime. How do you feel about the overtime rules? I'm not a fan of the NFL overtime rules. I really like the college rules because both teams get an opportunity to play or touch the ball on offense in overtime. In college, you start at the 25 going in. I think if they do that in the pros, you just start maybe from your own 20 or 25. And these are professionals we're talking about. So start from there. So perfect example, Tom Brady and the boys got the ball first from the coin flip. They march all the way down the field. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs never got a chance to touch the ball. In my opinion, that's not fair. I know the rules state, hey, if you kick a field goal, then the other team gets a chance. I get that. But still, this is playoffs. This is like, this is a coin flip. Playoffs, right? A coin flip won that for him, basically, which is too bad. I think the NFL needs to change rules. I've been saying this for years. 4 years. What do you think, man?
I think that I like the way they did it on Sunday, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The reason why the defense needed to show up for the Chiefs. Yeah, you could have had Patrick Mahomes go out there, but then you have a situation where you got two teams just going back and forth because of defense.
The Chiefs have like the worst defense out there.
Well,
the worst
Chiefs,
defense,
they know now next time you got to be able to shut down a team in that situation. That's when you pull up your pants. And another thing that
they did fire their D coordinator. The Chiefs did
exactly
this week.
But you know, and it's almost bad. It's sad because everybody knows when 2 minutes to go on the clock. Me and you talked about this.
I texted him and said, "Hey, 2 minutes left." I'm like, "Tom Brady's got it. It's over."
It's like having Jordan with the ball with the game on the line, Kobe with the ball with the game on the line. You got Ovechkin or you got Sidney Crosby that needs to make that one goal to make sure to win it all for the Stanley Cup. Brady is that dude. When 2 minutes to go, I sat there and I said, "Oh, sugar honey iced tea. This is Brady's time." If anybody's going to get those rings, anybody play video games, you know when your player gets really hot, those rings start going and they can't miss. He's on fire. He's heating up. Forget heating up. He's in fuego. When Brady gets 2 minutes, certain players, certain times, the world all of a sudden come together. The sun all of a sudden gets behind a cloud. Lightning starts shooting from another place. That player all of a sudden gets superhuman power. And that's what Brady did. He went straight to da-da-da-da. And next thing you know, Brady time. And I sat there and said, I cannot doubt Brady again. And
everyone knew it.
Talk to you about
everyone knew it. I think not only did I text you, I texted 4 of my other friends. And they were all like, yep, here we go. So you can't give the ball back to Brady with that much time. When they threw a pass to get down, this is at the end of the game, the Chiefs threw a pass to get down the 10 or 15 yard line. Then they ran, like the first or second play, they ran it in. I'm sitting there like, no, you guys got to sit on the ball, like run the ball, like don't go into the end zone right away. They blew it. And then what people forget is that the Patriots scheme so well. They take away your best player. Quiz for you. How many catches did Tyreek Hill have on Sunday?
I couldn't tell you.
1.
Wow.
He had 1 catch.
Wow.
Their main dude, the Chiefs' main guy, 1 catch.
Wow.
So they take away your best weapon.
Yep.
And then at the end of the game, if you guys saw, they put Gronk out wide as wide receiver.
Tony Romo made
He's
that call.
6'5" and 200 and some odd pounds, and they put Eric Berry out at him twice. What was that result? Both were 3 and 10 or 3rd and 10. Converted both of those. All you got to do is throw it up to Gronk, and he's got it.
And Romo said it. He said, "You see Gronk line up outside." He didn't say this words, but in my words, paraphrase, he was pretty much saying 100 times out of 100, when you see Gronk lining up out there, the ball is going to Gronk. Now, I know you got to protect the middle for Edelman, so you don't want to give all your coverage to Gronk. But if the play is designed to go to Gronk, then you got to stop that play and then make them go to plan B. Because plan A they're going to win with plan A. You make them, force them into plan B.
Yep.
And Kansas City Chiefs didn't do the right job as far as making the adjustments. Like you said, putting Barry's a good defender, but now Gronk, you need a double team on Gronk. Gronk is that dude.
But if you double team Gronk, then like you said, the middle's open for Edelman.
Well,
so you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And that is why they're the best coach team. Bill Belichick's going to go down as the best. And, well, controversy here, Tom Brady is a system quarterback.
Beautiful.
This is my opinion. Am I in the no hype zone or am I out of the hype zone?
I think with Brady, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Certain players force you to be in the hype zone. Mm-hmm. Whether or not you're a fan of them or not, certain players, you got to call it what it is. So you get excited about their greatness. You may have a problem with them, but as long as you're being factual, you're like, and you got one foot in, one foot out, but it's justified because of the greatness of Brady and the Patriots.
I'd love to see Brady without Belichick. I'd love to see Belichick without Brady, which we have seen a couple of times. Same result. Matt Castle, 2008, 11-5. Different quarterback the whole season, 11-5. That's all I got to say.
What he won like in the clutch, though. Brady time is Brady time. I know everybody keeps saying that, but there's only one time Brady. So if I got 2 minutes to go, would Matt Castle deliver like Brady would?
That's a great point. That's a great point.
You know,
I think you're in the no hype zone right now.
Yeah, that's no hype. You can say that all day. Brady is certain times, certain players need to be in a certain position to be able to do a certain thing, and that was Brady. Brady is that dude.
Fair enough.
I mean, it is what it is.
Fair enough. I'll give you that. Next. Hold on here. We got a little bit of a break because we need a purse.
Yeah.
And that is A-OK. Because we are training out of
pitch. Come on.
Do you want to say hi or no?
Say hi. Come on. Just come on.
Okay. She's going to say hi.
Hey.
Brittany, one of our trainers.
Yep.
Here we go.
How's it going? Podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll see ya. That's what happens when you do the show live out of a training studio.
That's right.
There you go.
What goes better, sports and training? It's like talking sports in the barbershop, but this is a whole nother way. We're talking sports in the training facility.
There you go. So now the Super Bowl, we have the Patriots and the Rams. Our picks will come next week.
Okay.
Next week. We won't talk about it right now. We'll talk about that next week on episode 3.
Hey, what if we start telling the viewing audience too? You know, we start talking about clutch. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have you guys send in top 5 clutch players, clutch moments. You know who they are. No matter what, they can't be stopped. They're unstoppable with whatever it is they do. Top 5 players in clutch moments, how they come through.
Is Tom Brady in that for you?
Definitely.
I know.
Definitely.
I know.
Yeah,
Is Kobe in that for you?
Yep. He got to be. Kobe.
Oh,
yep.
I might show him some stats if you think otherwise.
The Mamba, you can show me with stats. I'm going to show you some stats.
Russell Westbrook in there?
See, there you go.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. But we don't want to go there because I'm just going to switch it up. So you got to talk about Russell.
So we want to go next into the NBA, but first, I want to give another shout out to Darwin Wall.
Yes, sir.
He's the one that gave us these shirts, Ball So Hard.
Ball So Hard.
Ball So Hard right here, and here is the hat.
Ball
So Hard right there. He is in real estate, buys and sells homes, ballsohard.com. He's also on Instagram at Darwin Wall Team. So go ahead and check him out if you're ever interested in purchasing a home here in the Greater Phoenix area. Mm-hmm. He does a great job with that, and he's one of our clients. Him and his wife come in here basically 5 times a week. So shout out to you guys. Thank you very much for the stuff.
Gilbert and Chandler, I believe they're in the top 10 as far as cities to live in, be employed, peace in the area. So, you know, to be able to kind of talk with these guys about relocating would be awesome. Talk about getting a home, setting up the future for your family. Talk to these guys. They're professionals.
Big time. Right on. Okay, next topic, NBA. NBA. Let's start with this. So LeBron's injured. He's supposed to be injured for what, a couple of games? Mm-hmm. It's been, what, a month?
Mm-hmm. It's been longer than what, I don't know, what they told us that he was.
Is there something more wrong with him? Is it age? He can't recover as fast? What's going on?
That's age, attrition, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of it is, too, he knows the bigger picture is for him to be healthy versus a healthy Golden State. You know, you got a lot of teams somewhat having players sit out certain games here and there. Popovich kind of started this back in the day
he did.
with the Suns.
He did.
So with that being said, LeBron, he's been doing this a little bit. He did this in Cleveland a little bit last year.
But he didn't do it. Yeah, actually, last year. So 2 years ago, he sat out some games, and some of his fans were like, "Oh, hey, you know why he's sitting out all these games?" So he's like, "You know what? Fine." Last year, he played every single game. Mm-hmm. He didn't sit out one game. Mm-hmm. this is really the first time he's really been injured for a long time. I think that goes to some of his training, his nutrition, all that stuff. He puts $1.something million into his body every year to keep him healthy. So hopefully he is getting himself back, because I'm going to be out of the no hype zone. I love you, LeBron. You're like the man.
He does love LeBron.
I do. I'm a LeBron apologist, so to speak.
I like LeBron too.
So this goes to MVP talk a little bit. I know LeBron is always in the MVP talk. When we talk MVP, people think a popularity contest, or hey, this guy has scored this many points. What is the Lakers' record without LeBron, and what is their record with LeBron? So my opinion, MVP, how much value do you have to your team? So without LeBron, they have a losing record.
Yeah.
With LeBron, they were in 5th place.
They got all the way up to 4th place. Yeah,
4th place at one point. Now they're, where are they? They're probably dropped down to 8th.
I think they're 9th right now. LeBron's injury has definitely had a big impact on the Lakers. However, I think the Lakers knew that this was going to happen, and actually everybody knows that the real season doesn't start until the All-Star.
That is true.
If I'm going to rest them, like I said, I wouldn't say the sky's falling so much now.
No,
because
I don't think so either.
In the West, the standings go, you can be in 3rd place by going on a 2-3 game win streak, and you can be out of the race by losing 2 games at the wrong time. So it's a matter of just getting hot at the right time.
And that's good basketball too.
Yeah.
You know, when they're so close like that.
Yeah, that's why the West is so intriguing, because everybody wants to see who's at the top and who's going to come out. You got a superstar on pretty much every team except here. Well, we got Book. I love Book, but
Phoenix
still,
Suns,
you know, you can't help it. If they don't want to win, they don't want to win. But other than that, all the other teams in the West find a way to make it. Other than Memphis, they make the teams, the games a little bit more exciting. So with that being said, you're talking about LeBron. Now, not only does LeBron impact affect the standings, but I was looking at an ESPN report the other day, and they was talking about I can't remember the guy who reported it, so I apologize. But he was talking about how it was outside the lines, I believe, and so I do want to give credit to the show. They were talking about how LeBron's injury has made sports betting force certain leagues to now expose or be more transparent with the player's injuries. In other words, don't say a player is going to be out for a week if you know a player is going to be out for 2 months. Don't say that a player is just hurt and then the player went in and had an MRI or something. We all know that certain procedures lead to, it says that this is a serious injury. If you wouldn't have an MRI if we didn't think that the knee was unstable. If we thought it was just a sprained ankle, we wouldn't need to go check and see if it's broke or anything. So with all that being said, this affects the lines, the gambling lines, and because NBA is in bed with gambling now, you can't just sit around and just sit out whenever you want to.
Are you a gambler?
I'm not a gambler. You get me every time. I can sit there. The only thing I remember is 7-11 from Dice, and I still don't even know that. And I think that's when 7 is good or bad. Forget it. I can't. I'm not a gambler.
My problem is I bet with this and not with this.
I lose every time I bet. I lose. I can sit there and be a know-it-all and bam, I forget it. It can be somebody who's perfect, and then as soon as I bet on it, that game went to trash. He's having his worst game ever. And I'm sitting there like, oh no. And how much I lose? $2. Oh my goodness, the sky's falling. So anyway, but that's the effect of LeBron's injury. However, like I said, after the All-Star game, LeBron comes back. He's full steam.
He'll be fine.
And get him up.
He'll be fine. James Harden's gone off on this incredible scoring spree. Last 5 games, he has over 50 points per game. Ridiculous. Like the last 10 or 15 games he's gone off, he has 30 points per game. This is a super long stretch. Unprecedented to be this good offensively. Is he really this good? Is it the system that he is in? What's going on here?
Okay.
Is it good for the league? Is it good for the league? In my opinion, I don't think this is good for the league. It's a one-man show. You got other guys on your squad. You got to give them some love as well,
It stinks to me. I believe that he's putting up these numbers right now, maybe to build up his all-star
boosting his stats, kind of like Russell Westbrook. Excuse me. Keep
See,
going.
there you go. You got a cold. We got to do something about the cold that you have. Every time you sneeze, you cough. That's a serious condition right there. Anyway, Harden, as magnificent as Harden is as far as a player, somehow it just doesn't do anything for me, because when the game is on the line and when you really need him to take his team to another level, Harden is all of a sudden is not that guy. And I see the numbers he puts up with ease. I see how he plays. But whenever you putting up these shots and it's unassisted and you coming down playing Rutgers Park type basketball or, playground basketball left and right, I mean, we had an era like that in the early 2000s, and our league was bad. The league was bad because Iverson, you had a whole bunch of one-on-one players. So, people complain about Westbrook's stat padding all the time, but then they praise Harden about him putting up 50, 60 points a game. It's really, to me, when Houston is the number one team in the West, and he needs to do that, fine. But the consequences to that was the other day, without Tucker and George, what's the guy named the three come off the bench for Houston? You know what I'm talking about?
Great question. I don't even know.
Okay, well the guy, I forgot his name. Anyway, the players didn't touch the ball. That pretty much PJ Tucker was getting the inbound pass, and he kind of lost where he was in the game. He was boxing out a person.
He should
have been getting the ball, and one thing led to another. And I think they lost, or they might. I think they lost. Did they beat the Knicks? No, they beat the Knicks. They beat the Knicks, yeah. And that's because it was the Knicks. But anyway, it's just certain things like that. When you isolate, you keep the players out of. In the synergy of the game, then they're just up there running back and forth. The basketball is a synergistic game. You want to make sure that everybody touches the ball, everybody's involved.
Golden State does that very well. We touched on that last week, how everybody does touch the ball. They're very unselfish. Obscure stat for you: 88% of Harden's points are unassisted. So it literally means he goes down the court with the ball and then doesn't pass it to anybody else. He is the black hole of basketball right now. So from a fan or from a viewership standpoint, that could be fun. You're putting up all these ridiculous numbers, these offensive numbers. But I think for his teammates, they might feel some kind of way about not getting the ball or not doing their part in that offense. But is that Mike D'Antoni? He's running that offense like that. Like, he's giving him the green light. Yeah, you're winning games, but in the end, is that really going to help you out, like you said, in the clutch, or when you really need to rely on your teammates, are they going to have the confidence to make those shots at the end?
Right, and that's the thing. That's why I was holding my nose saying it stinks, because to see him doing stuff like that, and then you look at Golden State, where Klay Thompson can dribble the ball maybe 3-4 times a game, the whole game, all he does is catch and release. To me, that's beautiful basketball. However, I'm not on Golden State's bandwagon. As great as they are, even though Steph is one of my top 5 players, of course, they rivals to me the OKC. But that's me in the hype. But being out of the hype, Golden State is the standard as far as how you should be playing basketball.
Yeah, I agree. So now we've talked about LeBron, we've talked about Harden, some big names that you always hear about on ESPN and FS1. Are there any guys out there that the viewers may not know about who are really good that don't get enough love on television?
Giannis.
Yeah, we touched on him last week a little bit.
We need to keep touching on him.
Yeah.
Giannis he's the freak for a reason. Giannis is wonderful to look at. Kawhi Leonard is as clutch as they come.
Donovan Mitchell.
I like Mitchell. Mitchell is not playing as good as he did last year. I kind of grew fond of Utah last year. I was with one of my coworkers last year. He was a big Utah fan. He made me start watching them. And Utah is a fun team. Crowder I don't really like, but everybody else, the Ingles is an outstanding three-point shooter. Another player that we don't talk about is the Joker from Denver. Must-see TV. I love watching this man play. He has that playground fight in him. He's not taking anything from anybody. He's consistent. He puts up the numbers that we need him to put up. Denver's I believe they're in second place in the West.
So they were first last week.
Well, Golden State put him over there.
Yes,
got him a couple of times. But, it is what it. Joker is a player that you need to be watching. Lillard is always great TV to kind of watch.
I forgot about him in Portland.
Yeah, he's always
Look at that.
He's great. He's good.
I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I think Blake Griffin, too, is trying to have
Detroit?
trying to get his game back. He's playing a little bit harder, and he's out there trying to win. He doesn't look like he's just out there just playing. He's like he was upset the other day with the effort that his teammates was out there giving, and he was showing some leadership. So yeah, those are the players.
I say Bradley Beal. Now that John Wall's out for the season, I think watch him kind of pop off a little bit. Because John Wall kind of holds him back a little bit. He, in my opinion, is a little bit of a ball hog as well and doesn't let Bradley Beal do his thing. So watch out for Bradley Beal. He's on the Washington Wizards. They did play Golden State last night, and Golden State ended up winning, because they're Golden State.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Question for you guys. What is more impressive? I'm going to revert back to Harden real quick. What's more impressive? What Harden is doing or getting triple-doubles? This is hard for him. He's a Russell Westbrook fan.
Listen,
we're going to try to have him enter into the no hype zone. Okay.
I've got 1 foot in and a smidget of a pinky toe in the hype. Just a pinky, just a little smidget. I'm like Achilles I'm getting dipped in the whole body in the no hype, and I just got my Achilles out.
Okay.
Make a long story short, it's hard to get a triple-double, especially when you're a point guard, to get all of those rebounds. Last night, he's not a point guard. He's in the post. He's closer to the rim. For you to be a point guard that has to defend at the top of the key and come back and get a rebound and then lead the break, not only that, you killing it on the offensive end, then also you putting up numbers, then also you leading the league in assists. Then let's not also talk about the steals. I forgot to name one player that we don't talk a lot about.
Go ahead.
Paul George.
Tell them.
Paul George. Paul George is a Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. He can score. He can defend. Paul George is the reason why OKC is in third. Yes, I said Paul George. Russell compliments him. I told you I got a smidget. I'm dipped into the no hype. But Paul George needs to get more props for the way that he's playing. It's poetry in motion watching him play. He's awesome. But with that being said, to me, it's harder to get a triple-double every night when the team knows that's what you're going for than to put up 50 points. Again, I never put up 50 points. I never averaged a triple-double. We guys that just talk sports. I remember playing pickup games. I remember going out there playing when I was playing in high school, trying to think about fantasizing playing triple-doubles. I even trying to get triple-doubles on video games all the time, which is really hard. So imagine doing that night. This is your third year doing it. However, people can say, I don't mind people's opinions about Westbrook and all that other stuff, but the numbers are there. Oscar Robertson give him props. Even Michael Jordan give him props. All the players that is in the league, his peers, they say, they can't understand the disrespect that Russell gets for putting up that triple-double because they know they play and they know that's a hard feat to accomplish every night.
Very difficult. I want to go back to the players that maybe you guys don't know about. Victor Oladipo. Unfortunately, he just got injured for the season.
Man.
He tore a quad tendon or something.
That's my man.
In Indiana, he's another name that we don't talk about.
A lot, yeah.
I feel that after he left Oklahoma City, he got better. Why did he get better? What was missing?
Here we go.
Addition by subtraction.
Here we go. So, Oladipo credits Russell Westbrook's again.
Wait, am I in the hype or am I in the no hype zone or am I out of the hype?
You're in the hype because you got to always hate on
Westbrook.
I'm
out of the hype
zone.
No,
you're in the hype.
Okay.
You're in the hype.
I'm not in the no hype zone.
Yeah, no, because people, when you poking, when people are always trying to find reasons to, Oladipo even said, I credit my last year's season to him being able to be up under Russell for 1 year. Russell and OKC gave him his blessing when he went to Indiana. They wished him the best because they knew that he was being held back in OKC. He's just like a Russell Westbrook. He can handle the ball, he can get the rebound, he can make all these things happen from his position and defend the ball well. So as far as I'm concerned, there's certain players like him. Reggie Jackson is not the same player that he used to be, but Reggie Jackson benefited by going at it with Russell Westbrook every day. Matter of fact, the practices that Harden and Russell Westbrook used to have back in the day are legendary. People, if you look at the great Game of Thrones that's produced by Bleacher Report, Game of Zones that's produced by Bleacher Report, they have an episode on there where Harden and Westbrook are going at it for the MVP because that's just, what they say, iron sharpen iron, and when you around somebody that's talented, you can't help but rise up to that, and you don't have to stay in that system. It may not be good for you to be the number 2 in this system because you clearly are number 1 in another system. And I just think that's just the case with Oladipo.
Fair enough. You know, I can use this example. Klay Thompson is, you know, the number 2, possibly the number 3 guy. Doesn't complain, still gets his shots off, still does what he has to do. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I do like Russ, to his credit, I do like Russell Westbrook. He's fun to watch. He has so much energy, but sometimes he just needs to hold back the energy a little bit to let other people help him out. Example, just a small example that I'm going to give everybody out there. Like I said, I do love Russell Westbrook. Watching the game last week, they were up by a couple of points against Philadelphia. There's a minute or 2 left. You're up by 3 or 4. He's running on the court, jacking up a 3. He's not a very good 3-point shooter.
Terrible.
With like 22 seconds left on the shot clock. And even the commentators were like, Russ, learning point right here. When you have the ball with that much time left, pass around a little bit, bleed the clock. So hopefully he can learn from that. I mean, is that the first time he's done that? Probably not. He did that a lot in the playoffs, to be honest with you. I do kind of remember that. So hopefully, Russell, harness that energy that you have, man. He's like a firecracker, man, which is fun to watch, and it's exciting. When he gets excited, I love that. But just harness that a little bit better. Have a little bit better self-awareness, shall I say.
No hype.
That's me I'm trying to be in the no hype zone on that one. Maybe I got 1 foot out.
No, it was good. That's a good example, and I love that. No hype. Russell Westbrook had to adjust his game several times coming from college. He was a 2 guard. He had to learn how to be a point guard on the fly. He was told to hold back and give to KD. He let KD run the show. KD left. Then he was told to carry the team on his back. He carried the team on his back. Then he was told that no other...
To a fault almost. He carries so much of the burden.
Exactly. But to look at and you really didn't have... This is Billy Donovan's best year coaching. Before, Billy Donovan just sat back, did this, and said, Russell, do whatever you want to do. Scotty Brook did the same thing. Now, he's...
They ran Scotty Brooks out of town.
And, well, that's what you want to say. But but to make a long story short and land this plane right here, this year, he is shooting bad. He's coming off a major knee surgery.
Free throws.
For everything is terrible. He also had twins in the middle of the season as well. He got 3 kids that's under 3 or 4 years old. As far as I'm concerned, yes, he is playing bad. I was just talking to my brother-in-law about this last night, asking him, please give Russell Westbrook some grace. And I asked him, I said, you have a problem with Russell right now. Would you trade him? And he said, no, but his stock is down right now. And that's fair. That's fair. His stock is down. But Russell Westbrook is Oklahoma City Thunder. And now he's playing the role of Dwayne Wade when Dwayne Wade had to let LeBron take over in Miami. Now Paul George is MVP player right now, or MVP candidate. And like I say, just had to make adjustments. Now, that's me being in the no hype, because that's everything that I'm saying.
No hype.
Yeah, you can actually see how he was asked to change his game. Imagine if someone asked you to be a trainer 1 minute, then go out there and do construction the next day, and then go work in a juice bar, and yet still all these challenges, you find a way to overcome it. And you can do it. You just gotta, you might struggle a little bit. Right. So that's all.
Fair enough. Last thing in the NBA here, the trade deadline is 2 weeks away, February 7th. Who knows who's going where? I know in the media they love to say, oh, hey, the Lakers need to get this guy and that guy. Why does it got to be the Lakers? Why can't it be, Milwaukee? Why can't it be Utah? Why can't they pick up a guy? Why can't, Portland pick up a guy? Yeah. Why is it always got to be the Lakers and, always got to be that? Yeah. So we want to give love to everybody, not just, those high-profile teams, So I know Mike Conley is up. They're saying he could be traded from the Memphis Grizzlies. Mm-hmm. I don't know where. I'm not going to, I could be just like the media. You know where Mike Conley's going to go? Phoenix.
No. I see him hopefully.
Well, I can just say that.
I would look. Phoenix don't make decisions like that. They accidentally got Booker. They picked Aiden when they could have got Luka Doncic. I like Aiden, but Luka is bad in Dallas. If we could have got Luka.
But who saw that coming though?
I did. Everybody's saying that. Luka's game. He won the championship overseas. I believe it was for Madrid, Real Madrid, or Spain. We guys, like I said, we ain't sports experts. Yeah. We just love sport. Yeah. Luka Doncic has been as consistent as it goes, and he's young, and he has that grit in him. And if you put him next to a Booker, you would have been really top heavy as far as front court. But you would already backcourt, but you wouldn't really have that front court presence. So to be honest, having Aiden gives you a little balance, but the Suns don't do enough to me, to bring in the right type of players to blend together. They bring in the same type of ball players, and they like heavy in small forward positions and these stretch forward positions, but you know, they're not doing what they need to do to ever give the people of Phoenix hope that they're going to return to glory like they was back in the early 2000s and the 90s.
Well, like he said, and like we said, 2 weeks away, we'll find out what happens. Should be fun in the NBA. Fair enough.
I think Conley might go to Like I said, Indiana is missing Oladipo.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
I would like to see my personal.
No one said that out there.
Yeah, my opinion.
You heard it first.
I would like to see him and hopefully Gasol team up with Giannis in Milwaukee. To be honest with you, I think between you build up Toronto, you build up Milwaukee, you build up you got Boston. Now you got balance in the East where everything doesn't seem like the West is the only playoff teams that's going to make the playoffs.
Right, I got you. Anything that you guys want to add to this NBA conversation or even the NFL conversation? Check us out on our YouTube channel, the kNOw Hype Zone. That's kNOW Hype Zone. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to us. This is our second show. We're young. We're just trying to have some fun with this. So please help us out.
Don't need the hype.
Also, we're on Twitter at kNOw Hype Zone on Twitter. I don't think anybody's checked that out just yet. That's okay. Yeah. We're getting there. We're still young at this. We're still new at this.
It's still wet behind the ears.
Yes. So. All right. So moving on. Baseball. Yes, we're talking baseball. It is January. Pitchers and catchers report in a couple of weeks. I believe on February 14th.
Yeah, they'll be here in a little bit.
Yes. So great down here in Arizona. We have 16 of the teams down here, which is great. In the Cactus League.
Cactus League.
My parents are going to come down here in March. We're going to go to a game or two. I can't wait for that. Big off-season news. The big news is that Harper and Machado aren't signed yet. And we literally have the 25th. We have 20 days left until camp starts, and still they're nowhere to be found. I think baseball is doing themselves a disservice by not hyping this up a little bit, talking about this more, like creating some off-season buzz. NFL and NBA get a lot of buzz in the off-season with their off-season moves, but baseball, you know, a boring sport to some people, make it exciting. Baseball, I'm kind of mad at you right now that you guys aren't doing anything about this. With, like I said, 20 days away. So
we need more drama. I think
we need more drama, man.
We need more. Everybody's walking around there with halos on their head in baseball like they're all the California Angels. But to be honest with you, we need some drama. We need some controversy in baseball. We need some hype. Baseball is really good in the playoffs. I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching. You got NFL games going on regular season. I'm turning on baseball. I was hurt this year because, of course, I like the Dodgers, and the Dodgers been, they always go and do what they need to do to try to win the championship, but they come short, and it sucks. But playoffs is very good, and if we can transfer that excitement from the playoffs over to the beginning of the season, and like you said, even through the season going up into the All-Star break, even hyping up that All-Star a little bit more. The home run contest last year was really good.
Yeah.
But, keep that consistency. Baseball can return to glory. I remember, to this point really quick, I lived in Chicago when Sammy Sosa was hitting all those home runs.
Yeah.
Every night, me and my buddies would get on the phone and talk about, did Sammy hit another one? I remember my father being so excited. It was a billboard, I believe it was off the, was it the Kennedy Expressway, where they had the mural of Sammy just hitting home runs and stuff like that. Baseball was really exciting, and now, of course, that was the juicing era, and that's when we have a lot of players in that era who didn't make it to the Hall of Fame. We did have a unanimous person. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's the type of hype baseball needs. You need the home runs. You need the strikeout artists. You need what makes baseball good. You need the people to be out there stealing bases. You need a thief out there. You need somebody who's behind the plate who you run on. You need those type of characters.
And you need a personality.
Yes.
You need a personality in there.
Yes.
Someone to bring some eyes back to that sport. Even in the regular season when everyone's like, oh, hey, the dog days of summer, baseball's on. There's no other sports. When baseball is on, basketball's not going on. Well, basketball I feel like runs till August.
Yeah.
Football's not on. Hockey's not on. Baseball, like you have the floor.
Yeah.
Do something about it.
Yep.
Spread your sport to other people who may not have enough information about that. So You guys are doing your sport a disservice. Do something.
Please.
Okay. We had the All-Star. I'm sorry, not the All-Star. Apologize. The what do you call it? What do they have this week? Mariano Rivera just made the Hall of Fame. Sorry, the Hall of Fame.
Into the Sandman.
Hall of Fame. Mariano Rivera, the closer for the Yankees. 425 out of 425 people who vote for the Hall of Fame voted him in, the first unanimous person. Good for you, man. Do you know that? Fun fact, really fun fact. More people have landed on the moon or walked on the moon than Mariano Rivera have allowed runs in the playoffs.
That's why he's unanimous.
Crazy.
That's
is
a crazy stat. Crazy.
We know
stat.
the Yankees in the 90s and the 2000s went to the playoffs all the time. So good for them.
Yep.
Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens still not in the Hall of Fame. This is during the juicing era, which you just talked about. They need 70% of the votes. They still haven't gotten that yet. They have 2 years left. I believe if they don't get the necessary votes in the next 2 years to get in, then
I was all in favor of Barry Bonds getting into the Hall of Fame. I was all in favor of A-Rod getting in the Hall of Fame. A-Rod would tell you he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. That's why I respect A-Rod. A-Rod is one of the people, like the other day, he said that once Mario got in, he felt like he made it, and he didn't want to talk about his situation because he wanted to keep the light on the 3 guys that made it in. He was really proud of those guys. But in my opinion, A-Rod, Barry, I would have, voted them in. And Mark McGwire too, I would have voted him in. All up until we started talking to Patrick. Once we started talking to Patrick, and y'all
get Patrick on the show.
Yeah,
once baseball season comes in here, he's one of our trainers.
Patrick is like the old wise man. Patrick said
baseball savant.
I mean, he said some stuff to me, and he was talking about the knee injuries. He said, anybody, you want to ever, you want to debate about Barry Bonds being in the Hall of Fame? Look at how many times he had knee injuries, and look at what he had to take to get himself to play. And most players would not have had the opportunity to be up there and get as many attempts to hit because they would have been injured and natural attrition would have kicked in. But because of the supplements that Barry Bonds was taking, that he, that's been claimed.
The cream in the clear. I didn't know he would take that.
That they said that he was taking again. I have no facts on it. I'm just saying, and going off of what we were just talking about, that he said that played a major factor in Bonds getting the numbers that he hit. See, like hitting 70 home runs at the end of his career is something that just doesn't happen. And I was excited, like I said, all up until 2 hours ago before Patrick dropped that nugget on us.
Right.
And it was strong enough for me to say, you know what, Patrick, you are absolutely right.
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens should be in the Hall of Fame? Hit us up on Twitter. Put your comments in our on the YouTube channel here if you want. So, yeah, spring training's coming up here pretty soon. Last but not least, the NHL. No one talks about the NHL enough. Being from Buffalo, huge NHL fan, huge hockey nerd. I feel like ESPN and FS1 don't give hockey enough credit. The only time they do talk about hockey is, hey, no one talks enough about hockey. Well, you guys give us the information. Tell us about hockey. Once you guys do, then I feel like hockey can get more prevalent for the average fan, that being down here in Phoenix, there's not a lot of hockey fans down here. The All-Star game is this weekend in hockey. How many of you knew that? Probably nobody. Watch it. It's fun. They pick sides. They have a captain who picks teams. They have 4 teams, okay? First period, one team plays one team. Second period, team 3 plays team 4. Third period, the winner of period 1 plays the winner of period 2. So much fun. I think they've done an All-Star game right. The skills competition is ridiculous. That's why it's fun to watch. In case you didn't know, Alexander Ovechkin leads the league with 37 goals.
That's my man. I haven't heard of him since he won the Stanley Cup last year. He needs to do more. He needs to be hyped up a little bit more.
Yes. And Nikita Kucherov for the Tampa Bay Lightning has 78 points. For those of you at home who do not know what points means in hockey, is your assists and goals combined. He's your points leader. Please go watch a hockey game. If you have any questions about that, ask us here on the show, or go look it up on your own. Okay, so that's all I have to say about hockey. We'll talk more about that in the second half of the season coming up next week.
Do you feel, just while we're talking about hockey, when the Blackhawks were winning, and I'm not trying to be a homer, But hockey had got a little steam right there. It seemed like hockey was starting to become one of the more popular sports. And I remember
because a major market was in there.
Exactly.
Like Blackhawks.
And that's one of the biggest problems, like with a person like me, being from Chicago, the Wartses never put the Blackhawks on TV. They made it to the point where if you didn't come out to the stadium and support them, you wouldn't know what was going on. And we had some great players. As a matter of fact, one of the players came out here, Jeremy Roenick. Jeremy Roenick was in Chicago, came out here. He was hyped up more out here than he was in Chicago.
Yep.
Now, when Kane and all those other boys was winning 2 years ago, hockey got a little, to me, it was always on ESPN and all the shows. And even when Subban and Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean not Pittsburgh Steelers, but Pittsburgh Penguins going against the, what was the Memphis team? What's the Memphis team with Subban on it?
Nashville.
Nashville
Predators.
Predators.
Yep.
That was good. I was watching that, but it's like after that, even like I said, Ovechkin, after he won the cup, it was hype about him going around taking the cup and sleeping with the cup, and that was fun to watch. Why doesn't hockey and baseball, y'all need more stuff like that? You need a personality. You get the average fan like me who don't watch hockey interested in hockey and can remember the names, and now all of a sudden I want to watch it. I want to learn more about it because it becomes exciting. I compare Sidney Crosby to LeBron James. He's one of those people that he gets in the post, he hangs out there, he can bully you all day long, he can make things happen, he can assist. He's just one of those, like a Swiss Army knife, you know. But I need to know more about players like him, or not even like him, your fast guy. I remember back in the 90s, I used to like the Detroit Red Wings with Fedorov and Coffey and who else? Yzerman.
Yzerman. Steve Yzerman.
Steve, that team was, and you know why? Because I was playing a video game, NHL.
NHL 93.
And I thought, boy, that team.
Sega.
Oh my goodness! And then you go against the Kings, who had Gretzky and somebody.
Luke Robitaille.
And Robitaille was fast on that. But anyway, but that's what we need. We need more names about hockey, because hockey to me is definitely it's a fast sport. It combines the basketball to me with the passing and the scoring. It's baseball with the swinging and just the thinking, because I believe baseball pitchers are one of the smartest people on the planet, because to be able to know how to, you know, but and it just combines so many elements that hockey is something that I know that if I had a stick in my hand, I would definitely have fun. But a lot of people don't play hockey, and I think that's one of the reasons why. You know, it's a privileged sport. I'm gonna call it. I know it's a privileged sport. It's an expensive sport, and the common person who may not have had that privilege or exposure, they're not going to be involved. They're not going to be interested in it. But out here, we want you hockey fans to come out.
Talk about it.
Make me more of a hockey fan. I want to get into the Coyotes. You know, the real Phoenix, the Coyotes.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Anything else to add?
Man, I had a ball today. I had a ball with this show. We balled so hard.
Atlas. Darwin, Atlas.
We trained earlier today. We had the whole house in here doing everything from box jumps to rolls to ropes to working with the mace to doing all types of training here.
Outside, inside, we're everywhere today.
Man, I think this is the house of some of the greatest trainers on the planet. Although we follow trainers out there, you know, I'm a big fan of Jamie Velocity in the UK and Kaiser Fit and all these other people that, you know, you see on Instagram. So props out to all of the trainers out there in the training community, either whether you at a big box gym or whether you at a small gym. If you out there trying to help people get better, then hey, props to you, because, you know, trainers are teachers, and a lot of times people, healthcare system, they doing what they can do, but some of us need to get out here and exercise to prevent a lot of these things in our lives as we get older from becoming something that stops us from having or enjoying our quality of life. So get with a trainer, find you a trainer today, get to a gym, work out. It doesn't matter whether you're here at Atlas or you go anywhere else. Your health is important so that you can enjoy, and we can talk about, you know, your accomplishments. If you did join the gym, let us know if you got motivated to get on and go to a gym, work out, because that's what we're here for. We trainers first. Remember that.
All right. Thanks for watching our show. We'll be back at you next week for episode 3. Again, hit that like button for us on that YouTube channel. If you want to add a comment in there, please tell us how we're doing. We are always up for better information. Critique us how we're doing. Hey, you can tell us that we suck. That's fine. We're okay with that.
I don't want to suck.
Stop it. That's all we got.
What about, we got to talk about Britt. We got to just, give shots out to Brittany. Give shots out to Daniel.
Yeah, Dan's our boxing specialist here.
I love training, but he got my shoulders hurt because I've been boxing with him, been learning how to get that chin out. Travis, who walks around here like a little, beast all the time. Linebacker. Always look like he's ready to tackle somebody. You got Brenda,
we got
Kristen,
Patrick, we got C-Train.
C-Train sitting up here with C-Train Fitness, and you got Patrick, old wise man. You got Brenda coming in, making sure that, no matter how old you are, you out here working out, and, we got some other trainers in here. Did I forget anybody?
I think that's about it. We got a few other people starting here in the next couple of weeks, so that'll be fine.
Okay.
Right on. Again, questions, comments, concerns, all that stuff, put it there in the comments section, and see you guys next week.
No hype.